Hey everybody, Frank Sullivan, Mad Scientist here. I'm going to do something a little different right now. I'm going to be making this video. It's going to be a little bit long, but what it's going to do is it's going to show you secrets that I found through the years that you can do right now. See, all this stuff in the background here is great. It's going to be nice when it's all done, but it's still going to take some time. What I'm talking about is existing stuff that you can use right now and literally never ever have to pay for another electric bill, heating bill, or gas bill. I mean, literally live and not have to worry about anything. In fact, in a lot of cases, you'll get money back from the electric company. And what I'm going to start with is this little device right here. This is a power saver. It'll save you up to 35% of your electric use. I've used them and it works great. I've given them to family and friends and they've used them too. You can buy them right off eBay for $5-6. And I got another video I'm going to be attaching here showing you on eBay where they're at. I'm also going to tell you about a type of house. This is called a SIP house. Now this SIP house is incredible. They're so well insulated that you will never have to worry about anything. You can do a number of things, from geothermal heat pump and put it in this SIP house, and you will not believe what the difference is. This is a power saver. A simple device, only costs $6.32, dollar something shipping, you know, not much. Saves you 35% of your electric use. I've used them, I've given them to family and friends, and they all say they see a difference. For that price, if they only work 10%, that's fine. But they do give you quite a bit of savings. One little device that actually works. Okay, that was the power saver. Now, I'm going to go to the SIP house. Now, SIP houses are rather unique. They're called structurally insulated panels. And the illustration and video that I got is going to explain a lot. We actually have one here where I live, and they estimated the yearly cost of the heating and cooling was $300. That's it. But the beauty of this is we could take it one step further. As I was explaining about geothermal heating system you can put in, and that was not put in the other SIP house that I saw. Also, you can do a little bit of solar panels. I'm not crazy about solar, but you can put them in to offset the electric use, and literally the bills would be minus. If you signed up for getting money back from the electric grid, you literally could get a paycheck from the electric company. Okay, well, without further ado, I'll show you the SIP house, and first I'll show the geothermal heating system.
In today's homes, comfort and efficiency are necessities, and how you will heat and cool your home are major decisions. Consider this 5,600 square foot home. It costs less than $70 a month to heat.
Well, when I built my home in 2000, I wanted to make sure that I would have very low energy bills because I intend to stay here for a long period of time.
Most of these energy bills are for heating, cooling, and hot water.
Looking at the way energy prices were starting to creep up, I felt that the geothermal system offered the best possibilities for energy savings.
Geothermal energy systems use the natural warmth of the earth to heat and cool your home. Nearly half of the solar energy that reaches the earth remains stored in the ground at a constant temperature of about 50 degrees. With geothermal technology, there are two basic ways to capture and use this heat, with open-loop and closed-loop geothermal systems. Open-loop piping systems are used in rural areas with a well. In other locations, Closed-loop systems are most common. They use a piping loop installed underground or in a pond, depending on the size of the property. Each closed-loop piping system can be placed horizontally, vertically, or with a directional bore to absorb the Earth's heat and move it into your home. During the winter, a geothermal energy system delivers heat from the Earth to a furnace. The heat is compressed to a higher temperature and moved through the home by forced air or radiant floor heating. During the summer, the process reverses. The geothermal energy system removes the heat from the home and deposits it into the cooler Earth. The result is a cool, dehumidified home.
Well, the first benefit that we looked at was the cost savings. In this home, our differential between doing a conventional system versus geothermal was about $10,000 more for the geothermal system. I'm spending about $60 more per month in my mortgage, but I'm saving about $110 to $120 a month in energy.
And those savings are pretty typical for homes with geothermal in Michigan.
But then when we looked further into the systems, we found that they're really environmentally friendly. Because we use renewable energy from the ground, we're not having to rely on fossil fuels. And since there's no combustion, it's very safe as well, so there's no risk of carbon monoxide in the house.
Geothermal energy systems are quiet, dependable, and safe. They have few moving parts and require little maintenance.
We get our system checked about once every 2 years just to make sure it's operating at its peak performance. And so far, there's been no problems at all.
Geothermal energy systems also have no outdoor equipment. They maintain a comfortable, even temperature in the home, and they provide efficient, renewable heating, cooling, and hot water.
Welcome back to Powerhouse. Do you know what this is? This is called a structural insulated panel, or SIP. It's an easy, energy-efficient way to build a new home or add on to an existing home. Here's the breakdown. We have wafer board, which is sandwiched around 4 to 8 inches of rigid foam insulation. And the result is a structure that's not only extremely strong, but one that's also extremely energy efficient. According to the SIPS Association, this is one of the fastest growing segments of the construction industry. As a matter of fact, it grew about 40% last year. Today we're going to see a SIPS home being built, and you'll see that these panels can be used for floors, walls, and even roof systems. Joining us today is Don Otto from DPO Construction. Hi, Don.
Megan, thanks for coming.
Thank you for sharing everything you know about SIPS with us today.
Glad to.
Let's say that I'm a homeowner and I decide that I want to use this in the construction of my home. How do I start?
You start by developing a set of plans to your exact specifications. You send those plans out to the factory, and they will assemble all of the panels and put them together for you.
Okay, let's talk about the factory. What is the process to build these panels?
You start with a huge cube, a huge block of foam. They cut the foam into slices. They'll glue a wafer board to each face, and they can make these panels up to 8 feet tall by 24 feet long. They lay these panels out on a cutting table. They cut out all of the windows and doors for you, put all of the panels on a trailer, ship them out to the site, and the builders put them together.
Okay, Don, so the factory is done with all of these customized panels, and they're shipped to the job site.
Right.
And it looks like it's pretty quick and pretty easy to put all the pieces together.
Very quick and easy. The factory will ship you out a whole layout with all of the pieces numbered. And as you can see, the pieces are numbered right here.
In sequential order?
In sequential order. The carpenters will verify the panels with what's on the layout and put them all together.
How do they put them together?
They're actually put together with splines, and if this is a sample of one of the panels, the spline fits right in between, and it leaves just enough material left over for the next panel to come right on and fit right over it. Before they put them together, they will put caulk and adhesive between it along the bottom of the plate. The next panel comes right out to it, and they're fastened right up the edge.
Wow. Now, you can see here that this is solid insulation. Can you explain to us how the electrical and the plumbing systems are put into place?
You bet. Before the final skin is put on, they'll take a hot knife and route out a channel for the wiring. And very much like this, if this were the actual core of the panel, you can see that they've drilled a hole right through it, and the electrician can fish the wires right through.
So it goes all the way across wherever you need it, and that's done in the factory?
It goes all the way across, and they put them in there for a little bit up higher for light switches. And if you need to go from floor to floor, they will actually take vertical channels and route them right up the whole panel.
That's great. Now, looking around the job site here, this is pretty environmentally friendly. There's not a lot of waste here.
Absolutely. There's very little wood that's put in the panel itself. About the only wood that really is in there is the bottom plate, the top plate, and some occasional framing around the windows and doors.
And what kind of trees are used?
What they do is they actually have poplar farms, and they use the poplar and chip it up into wafers and make the panels with it. It's very, very little lumber.
That's important to a lot of our viewers.
It certainly is.
Can we go inside and take a look
Let's
around?
do.
Okay. Now, Don, while the SIPS technology can really bring us a nice airtight home, the exchange of air is very important, isn't it? Getting fresh air into the
Certainly
home
is.
and the stale or moisture-laden air out of the home.
You bet.
How do you deal with the exchange in a SIPS home?
It's really a two-part system. We use mechanical ventilation to provide all of the fresh air that the occupants need in the house. But once you provide all of the fresh air, then it only makes sense to make the building envelope as tight as you possibly can. And that's where the SIPs come in really well, because they are so airtight and energy efficient as well.
Energy efficiency, I know, is a big factor, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But let's talk about some of the other benefits of a SIPS home.
Bug resistant, fire resistant, very fast to build, and as you can tell, this is a very windy site.
It is.
And so the SIPs will keep the air infiltration down quite a bit.
How fast is it to build? Can you compare that to a traditionally built stick home?
Right. It took us only about a day to build one whole story.
Really? Okay. Well, let's talk about the energy efficiency. Do you have any statistics for me?
Typically, SIPs houses can save about 40 to 60% on the utility bills. And when we calculated the energy cost for this house, we're looking at about $400 a year.
Wow, all of these things add up, so...
All right, now that you've seen the geothermal heating system and the SIP house, I'm also going to take you to a website that's going to show how much the SIP houses cost, and they're very inexpensive. I'm also going to show you something else called a tankless hot water heater. I happen to have one, and I'll show you a video of it, and it is great. It is so inexpensive, and the usage is far, far less than the standard hot water tank. Not to mention, you can get them for the exact same price, if not a little bit less. Okay, this is a SIP house site, and they are pretty reasonable. There's ranch style houses starting here at $14,000 on your way up in different styles, all the way to double decker types. I'll include the links in the description, but these are very reasonable. Look at this, $54,000, 5 bedrooms, 5 bath. You can't beat that. If you went to a stick built house, that'd be, you know, $150,000, $200,000 home. Of course, once they do this, you got to put in windows, siding, and roofing and so forth, but it's still way cheaper. I mean, you can get most of that and do it for another $20,000 to $30,000, if not, you know, less, and still be way under the $100,000 mark, which most new houses are going for or more. And these are really cool things. And by the way, you can pick up garages too while you're at it with this. Also on these, there's a lot of different styles and types, plus you can do custom ones. You can see the difference in the type. This is a really nice looking house, $38,000, 2-car garage, and so forth. All kinds of different styles, whatever you like. Okay, we're here in my basement, and there's my power saver. You connect it right next to your breaker box as close as possible, and it works through the whole house. Also, I got something else to show you. Over here, I have an instantaneous hot water heater. They're pretty small compared to regular hot water tanks because they don't store water. They heat it up as you go. So that means when you turn the water on, it turns on. It's never on trying to maintain a certain amount of temperature. So it's a big savings. I literally tested it, and it cost me $15 a month to use hot water. I take long, hot showers. So $15 was nice. Also, you don't ever have to worry about water running out. As long as the water's on, it will continuously give you hot water. And you have to be careful, actually. You have to mix it in with a little bit of cold because it gets too hot. So there it is, and that's another little savings. A lot of people don't realize you can get these for $200-300 on eBay. If you go to a regular store, they want, anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 for them, and then you got to install them. But you can get them real cheap on eBay. I just wanted to show you some of the tankless water heaters. These happen to be gas. You can get them in propane or electric. There's a pretty good one right there. $287. 4.3 GPM, which means it's pretty fast moving. Some of the other ones are 3.1, but that's a decent one for the price, considering you'll pay that much for a regular hot water tank, if not a little bit more, and it's constantly on trying to maintain temperatures. So you got a real big savings just by doing this. Now, everything told, putting all this stuff together in one house, in the SIP house, and coupling it with some of the other technology like geothermal heating and cooling systems, you literally, as I said before, would never ever have to worry about any utility bill, period. The geothermal heating systems is really cool, especially for AC in the summertime. The temperature of the earth down there remains a constant about 54 degrees. So that's plenty cold enough to put in some AC. I also have some other thoughts on how to supplement for the heating. Because the heating lacks a little bit, it has to have a heat pump to pump the heat out of the cold air of the earth. Well, I'm about to show you how you can make it even more efficient. You use a simple solar water heating system that works even in the wintertime. So I'll show you that shortly. These are solar thermal hot water collectors. Now they work via vacuum and the water runs through it. It really heats the water up. I have a friend who has a business, he sells these, and once you put them in, you literally have radiant floor heating through the solar part. He's put them in many of businesses and it's saved a lot. See, coupled with this, with the geothermal, in the middle of winter, instead of the 54 degree water, you'd make the water so hot you could pull off the heat like it's nothing, and your heat pump wouldn't bat an eye. It would be just pumping in heat. In fact, you could probably just simply run radiant heating, which would help out a lot there, and use a geothermal for AC. So coupling a lot of these things together and putting them all in one house is the way to go. You would absolutely live free and literally get paid from the electric company. Who doesn't want that? Okay, I hope that helped everybody. All these technologies are 100% usable right now, that you could literally not have to worry about another utility bill in your lifetime. This is my aim, to show you everything that's out there, spread the word, tell people about it. People can start building these things for far less and get the benefits of getting money back from the electric company. It's amazing what you can do if you just look around and find it.